My name is Stephen Peake and I'm Professor of Climate Change and Energy at the Open University. And my whole career has been spent on energy and climate change. The Open University has recently appointed its first Director of Sustainability. So we now have an Office of Sustainability. This is a big step for us. So we're going to be held accountable in the university's governance system. We're going to upskill and reskill the staff because the staff tell us that not everyone's a specialist in sustainability, and even if you are, we're often not specialists in how to communicate it well, and I often get it wrong. We often have the right intention but the message just doesn't hit home. And then of course looking at how does our research, teaching and enterprise, how are we actually impacting in the wider world through those three avenues. I see the biggest opportunity is us reframing what these problems mean for people so that they can A, understand it, and B, conceptualize like what am I going to do, make some plans, and C, implement those plans and make those behavioural or technical changes. So I think that the higher education sector is uniquely placed to help people do that, sort of a mass re-education exercise. The answers to some of these transitions and in lifestyles and technology, they're not clear. And so I think having a license to experiment, to have collaborations, to do long-term things, I think there is evidence that particularly young people have come through an education system where they understand and they're aware of the urgent need to do something about climate and biological diversity emergencies. And so if you just talk to our students, you've got immediate evidence that their life aspirations are completely different, for example, from what mine were 30 odd years ago when I was in their same position. Equally, as we move through the age groups, you find a lot of retired people or semi-retired people who have had careers, professional careers, are turning to this problem and saying, actually, I've got to give something back. So what are sustainability skills? In a nutshell, they are the idea of thinking holistically when you have a project or an enterprise about people, planet and profit, the three pillars of sustainability, the social, the economic and the environmental. Now, that sounds easy, but if you're trying to do something and you're trying to sort of juggle three balls at once, always thinking about, I've got to optimize for are the people happy? Is the environment happy? Are we making money? You can start to see that actually that's not trivial. So sustainability skills aren't that new. They're not easy, and I'm not saying that everyone gets it right. A newer thing that people are talking about is to talk about regenerative skills. Now, what does that mean? There's a thing about sustainability that it's really been characterized for quite a long time as stop doing things, let's do less bad. Whereas actually, in a regenerative view of the future, it's about how can we do more good? So how can we leave the systems that we're involved in, like maybe the whole earth, but our communities, our houses, our organisations, our schools, our villages, how can we get them working in such a way that they don't degrade over time, but they start to get better? So what would that look like for the companies and the material cycles that some of these companies work on? What would a company look like where their impact in the world is just improving all the time? We're making the world a better place. So in almost every sector, you can use this idea that sustainability isn't just about doing less bad, but it's about doing more good. If you think like that, and we want you to think like that, then you can use this word regenerative. It means improving the state of things. How can we improve it?